After 157 episodes of CRE Success, the podcast, it is now time for something new. It's time for something different. It's time for commercial real estate leadership. Hello and welcome to episode 158 of the show. My name's Darren Krakowiak. This is commercial real estate leadership. Yes, we're going with the number format that we had before. We're not just erasing the past. It's a new podcast. So we thought about going with episode 1, but I thought, well, then that suggests that there isn't anything that came before it. There is something that came before it. It's still there. It's not being thrown out, but we're going with a new format of the show, which reflects really the direction that the show has been going in. I've been talking more consistently about leadership topics, and I think that it's time for us to change the name to call it Commercial Real Estate Leadership. We've updated the artwork for the show under the existing brand guidelines, if you like. I am working at the moment with a branding agency on a whole new brand relaunch for CRE Success. So we will update the podcast artwork along with the website and all the rest of, I guess, our brand imagery, the look and feel of CRE Success over the next couple of months. But I didn't want to wait to bring you this new podcast until we relaunch the brand. We did have a bit of an internal debate about should we just pause the podcast and then launch with a bang with the new podcast name. We'll give the podcast a bang with the new color scheme and everything else that's coming out with the business when that happens. But I figure now I've got things to say about leadership, and why not start talking about those things right now under the name of Commercial Real Estate Leadership. So we are still here to help leaders of commercial real estate agents and brokers to get their business growing faster, to accelerate growth in your business, if that is you. And, you know, there are many things, but I reckon there are 3 main things that I see commercial real estate leaders dealing with. One thing is that they are overworked a lot of the time. They are working really, really hard. And we did do a recent episode about the gap between a leader's level of motivation and that of their team members. Also, we see that it's just hard to find good people. So it's hard to find the right people to bring into the business. And it's also, there are times where I see people working with less than ideal clients. So they're working with any client on any account or any project that perhaps aren't the most desirable in the market or aren't the most desirable to them. So part of the solution that we're going to be offering in this show is to help commercial real estate leaders who are overworked create a business that just works. If you're having trouble finding the right people, well, we're going to help you get the right people into your team. And if you're just working with any client, well, we want to help you start serving the right clients, ideal clients, in fact, working on the assets that you want to work on projects that you are equipped to handle. So why is it that we are here? What are we here to do? Back when I started CRE Success in 2020, it was about a year after I'd arrived back in Australia after more than a decade living and working overseas. And I previously talked about this gap that I noticed in the marketplace when it comes to a lack of resources that existed for commercial real estate professionals. But it wasn't just a gap in the industry in terms of resources for agents and brokers and property managers and other people who are working in the industry, but it was also a gap in terms of leadership. And I saw leaders who were often in it for themselves. I saw upcoming leaders who were looking for mentors or guidance or just someone who they could emulate, but they were in short supply. And in fact, there was one time when I was in a meeting and a mentoring program was being launched. And there was a lot of cynicism from some of the more experienced people about being involved in the program, which I thought was a worthwhile thing to do. And they had shared their experience of being involved in the program and basically said that, we just speak to them once and then tick, mentored, and it's done. And, really sort of cynical and not taking it seriously. And I took it seriously. I thought it was important. And that was one of those moments where I realized that there was a mismatch in my values and between some of the people who I was around at that time. And I guess it took me some time from launching the CRE Success brand to realize that the area where I should be spending most of my time is helping other leaders to be the best that they can be, to get the best out of their people, to provide a system or a pathway or a roadmap to help those leaders create the business that is in their head, the vision that they know they want to get to, and just to make that happen. I think so many of my clients have said to me that they've worked with other coaches or consultants who just don't get commercial agency. Well, I'm not saying that I'm the best business or leadership coach out there, but if you know me, you know that I get commercial agency. So that's why we've created our program to work with commercial real estate leaders. And this podcast exists as an on-ramp to that program for people who want to take the next step. But it also exists as a resource for people in the industry who perhaps aren't qualified to join the program, aren't ready to invest in themselves to take that next step, or maybe they're not yet leaders, but they believe that leadership is important and they want to glean some of the skills that will help them lead themselves, lead their clients, be leaders in the market, and perhaps one day be the leaders of other industry professionals in a more structured and formal sense. So what can you expect in this new format of the show in commercial real estate leadership? Well, we're going to be providing you with models such as around team structure. So you might have heard of this idea of find, mind, and grind. We'll be unpacking that very soon. We'll be looking at ways that you can recruit and retain the best talent in your market. We'll look at some of the latest work practices. So you're not just relying on working more to extract growth. We're going to be looking at ways that you can create leverage, whether it be from technology, the software that you're using, whether it's from hiring more people, whether it's using money, capital, lending, or maybe it's coming from media, from more leveraged forms of communication. We're looking at selling strategies, leading leaders, and so much more. I'm not going to be holding back. I'm going to share my opinion. Maybe that will align with yours. Maybe what I say will resonate, and maybe it won't. But I think it will be clear about what I believe, and you'll be able to make an informed decision of whether you want to, I guess, take that next step. One thing about the name Commercial Real Estate Leadership that I wanted to share with you, the reason why I'm calling it that is because I think it's clear what it is that we're here to do and who we're here to serve. The previous name of the show, CRE Success, the podcast, was a little bit ambiguous, I think. And my business coach told me a story about how to name products, which I thought was really great and a great analogy, and I'll share it with you now. He said that, you know that movie Snakes on a Plane? Terrible movie, but a great title, because no one's under any illusions about what this movie is about. There are snakes in it, and those snakes are on a plane. So that's kind of like the way that I think we should look to name things. Make it clear. Just if it's on the tin and people can see what's on the tin and in the tin, even though the tin you can't see through it, you know what's inside, that's great. So hopefully people in a podcast directory, if they're looking at CRE Success, the podcast, what's that? Now it's going to say Commercial Real Estate Leadership. And by the way, all of the directories are being updated as we speak. So if you're in a directory where it hasn't been updated yet, don't worry. It's coming very, very soon, those updates. Now, the final thing that we're doing as part of the new name of the podcast is we've got a fantastic new resource to offer you, and I want you to be the first to be able to receive it as a listener. The resource is called Multiplied Growth. And in this guide, if you like, we're going to show you the 5 little improvements that will deliver 28% GCI revenue growth for the commercial real estate agents in your business. So if you want to scale your business, but you're not sure where to start, this is the guide that will tell you exactly on how to make a start on the process of growth. We're going to be going over the 4 paths to business growth. One of them is organic growth, which is the focus of this particular guide, but there are 4 avenues to scaling your business. We'll talk about why small improvements matter, and you'll learn how, I guess, minor but consistent changes in your business operations can lead to substantial year-on-year growth. We're going to reveal the power of 5%. Just 5% improvement in certain metrics can lead to massive improvements in your overall results. And we'll also, with this guide, give you some bonus resources, including a spreadsheet, which is customizable for your own business, as well as an instructional video where I'll show you exactly how to use that spreadsheet so you can apply the insights contained in the guide based on your own business setting. So if you want to grab Multiplied Growth, go to cresuccess.co/growth and download the guide. Proven strategies. These deliver results in commercial real estate businesses, and it's completely free to grab it. So I encourage you to go and get that at cresuccess.co/growth. I hope you're excited about the new show, Commercial Real Estate Leadership. I can't wait to bring you more focused leadership content moving forward. For now, thank you so much for listening, and I will speak to you soon.